What's NASCAR without controversy, right? We haven't even had our first regular season race yet, and we already have a race finish that's very questionable. On Thursday, February 14th, we had the Daytona duels that would set the inside row and the outside row for this year's Daytona 500. Bubba Wallace won duel number 1, and it looked like Eric Jones won duel number 2. But even though he crossed the start-finish line in first, it didn't really matter because NASCAR threw a caution. It threw a caution at this point where it looks like the 2 car of Austin Cindric is in front of the 43. My question is, how does a caution come out as they are coming to the checkered flag? Let them race it out. And I mean, they're literally in the trial. I mean, they're a couple hundred feet from the start-finish line. Why not let them race it out? It's the white flag. It's not like it's the second to last lap. And we've seen this happen in years past. A great example is the 2007 Daytona 500 when they were wrecking off of 4 and they let, Kevin Harvick and Mark Martin race to the end. So I wanted to figure out how much time there was between cars starting to wreck and the caution flag flying. So in this year's duel, it was about 3.78 seconds between the wreck starting and when the caution flag flew. And in last year's Daytona 500, it was about 3.05 seconds between the wreck starting and when the caution flag flew. So it looks like somewhere anywhere between like 3 to 4 seconds is when the caution starts to fly. So I went back and looked at the Daytona 500 from 2007. There was no caution even though the wreck started well before last year's Daytona 500 wreck and the dual wreck that happened last night. So using the same logic, I timed out essentially anywhere between 3 to 4 seconds after the wreck started, and if a caution flag flew, who'd become the winner? At 3.97 seconds. So a couple tenths more than the wreck that happened last night when the caution flew. Guess who was ahead? Mark Martin. So by the 2007 logic, Eric Jones should have won the race. By 2007 logic, Kevin Harvick should have won the race. But looking at what happened last year in the Daytona 500 and looking at what happened in the duel, Austin Cindric should have won. So the question is, why are there inconsistencies in how these cautions are called? Going back to 07, I know one's the Daytona 500 and one's the duel, but basically they were coming to the checkered flag. Why not let them race it out? Both 2007 and last night's duel, there was no effect on the leaders, the caution. It had no effect on who was going to finish ahead because the wreck was not in front of them. It was way behind them. And by calling a caution, it altered the race in both circumstances. Now, I'm on the side of letting them race to the finish. As long as they are not in danger, let the leaders go back to the line and race to the line, which would make Eric Jones the winner. I've seen people on both sides of this argument, so let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. If you're a NASCAR fan and want to get more content just like this, hit that follow button.